Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. Good morning, world. Good morning, Australia, Greece, Rome, London, China, everybody. Good morning. I'm Arthur Tetasheri Whitney. This is the You Will Make It TV YouTube channel where we believe faith does attract possibilities. We believe this because, possibilities are around us every day. It's up to us if what we do with them, is what I was trying to say. If you've been with us for in the past 24 hours, if you've been following You Will Make It TV, you will see that we have posted new upload content, videos, shorts. We want you guys to support us all the way. So sometimes people, like, let's say you have two businesses, you sell perfume and you sell lip gloss. Well, you weren't making lip gloss sales because you didn't mention you had the lip gloss. Everybody was buying the perfume. So I try to make sure that I do include a clear or clarity when it comes to what all we are trying to do at You Will Make It TV. We're not just a YouTube channel, okay? Because y'all got to know this: social media influencers, content creators, we are still regular people. I mean, some people may not feel that way because views and likes dictate who they are, but I'm saying they're still regular people. So behind the scenes, when you have a channel like this and you telling people every day they can make it, they will make it, there's a way they can make it, it kind of like pulls on people a bit. Like, well, hey, what is she talking about over there? We do appreciate you guys' support. Once again, I'm Miss Arthur Tetasheri Whitney. We're happy to have you. You are welcome to like, share, or subscribe to any of our content. So the shorts too are inspirational skits or shorts or videos. I had started calling them conversations with God, but we're going to bring the conversations with God content right back because it's not like I've stopped talking to Him and I don't mind expressing to people. Just like you have a sacred relationship with somebody, you don't actually expose everything, you know what I'm saying? Down to the things you feel like you just want to share with the world because it make you happy. You actually don't do that. So I'm happy to be learning how to master me and what works for me, but I don't mind sharing anytime the goodness of God or conversations I have with God. I know what it's supposed to do. That's all that matters. Hopefully somebody see that and be like, see one of our shorts that You Will Make It TV and say, wow, I didn't know I could talk to God like that. She mean to tell me she just be sitting back, chilling like that, talking to God? I really do. It's been going on for years too. You know what I mean? So that's all. If that's all I knew, that's all I was gonna keep doing, and no matter what keeps happening. So I think somebody thought after the happenings with the S, I wonder do they have a movie called that they will see a change in my faith. They're not worried about the change in my emotions. They're not worried about the change in how I dress, how I walk, how I talk. They're worried about if I still have my faith or not. They know who they are, and I still do. That's why I want to do more conversations with God segments. So, how y'all doing out there this morning? Today's date marks, I don't know why I have the date wrong on here, but today is actually the 8th, January 8th, 2025. Happy New Year. Let me ask y'all a question though. How long into January do you stop telling people Happy New Year? Because I noticed lately, I've been telling people and they looking at me like, girl, that was the other day. They do it every year. I just think that's funny. Like, I should be able to tell you Happy New Year in July if I want to. It's still a new year. Really just encouraging people, inspiring people. You can be that happy, just as happy you are on Christmas and Thanksgiving every day. You don't need to wait for validation. You know what I'm saying? To enjoy those around you that you love, to gift them, to support them. Even with our channel, a like and a subscribe will be just fine right now. How can you subscribe? You hit that golden bell right at the bottom of the screen, and it'll give you a notification. It'll say subscribed. It'll let you know. And this way, every time we post new content, a post, a short, a stream, a live stream, you will be able to see it. Um, so we just want to thank you guys for your support. Like I am so, you know, just actually to be honest with y'all, before I even seen this news about Tesla's new tiny home release, because I took it as the very news itself, I took it as love from Elon Musk for real. And it's significant because I actually have I can't I don't care who doesn't understand this. I actually feel like I've been seeing, and it's crazy to say this, I've been seeing love in the world. There is love, y'all. Love. I didn't say I'm getting it or I'm receiving it or I'm looking for it. Like, when has it been a moment in my life where I could just sit back and say, you know what? Love is not just non existent on the planet. Because maybe you can get to dark places in life. Oh no, I'm trying to switch my mic out, y'all. Hold on. I thought I had the other one. I have the broken one plugged in here. Able to catch the first half of this here, but it's not quite 6 7 minutes into it, so I guess that's cool. I'm just gonna keep streaming from here. But I just left off kind of talking about how we should be grateful for the gift of life and how you can support You Will Make It TV by just simply subscribing and liking. I didn't even know it was silent for that long. It's really crazy. Or I hope y'all were able to hear me a little bit. But that's all I was pretty much saying. That's how you can support us. Like, share, and subscribe. And then you're welcome to share any of our content, even on other platforms. Okay. The goal is to get people over here, join our tribe, join our You Will Make It TV family. And you don't join this family, you actually don't hit the subscribe bell if you are not looking for inspirational quotes, messages, and content every day. So yeah, like if you just don't want to see nothing like that popping up on your news feed when you jump on YouTube, do not subscribe to this channel. Sometimes things will pop up though if people you're subscribed to, right? It might pop up as a recommendation. Still, you are welcome. There are filters actually for those that don't know on YouTube that allow you to block or whatever if you don't want certain content showing on your news feed. I found my microphone. Isn't that funny? I just found it. Good morning. Good morning. Leave your opinions in the comments. What type of coffee do you drink in the morning, or what kind of tea, or orange juice? Some mornings I do orange juice for real. Have you ever just had a taste for orange juice in the morning? And it's the suckiest feeling to not have any in there. So I know both sides of it. I was just saying how I feel like I've been seeing more love in the world. Um, because you can get to a dark place where you just believe love is, I guess, I ain't gonna say I believe it was non existent, but I just really probably had gave up on even looking for it. Like, we know that we attract what we think and stuff like this. But if I've been thinking, man, I wish the world was a better place. I wish there was just more love in the world. I wish people got along better, right? That's how it started. But I actually can admit I've been seeing more love in the world. With all the chaos that is going on, I can clearly see the love that is there. Or maybe that's what chaos and, disruption does. Confusion does, right? I see the bright in everything. It actually brings out, it helps you easily see the love in the world. I'm just taking a quick pause break. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. just like in real life though, like if I don't get a good morning back on my live streams or stuff like that, it doesn't phase me. I just say it's a blessing to be able to wake up in the mornings, my own personal self, and still greet the world, wish the world a good morning. Because what do y'all think when people say that? What they mean? So I really do wish everybody a good morning, whether they end up tuning in or not today. I'm going to definitely be sharing this live stream recording on the community platform side of this channel where you can easily access this during lunchtime or in the evening when you get off work. But definitely let's gather together and talk more about homelessness prevention, bridging the gaps in the lives of people who are facing barriers. How do we keep ourselves mentally strong through financial crisis? How do we prevent homelessness to begin with? How can we keep parents with a reliable way to stay on track? Because we know low income is low income, but what are we teaching people to stay at that level? Um, because surely if they stay at that level, you're just going in circles. I mean, you're not going no further. I mean, like, that's cool if you're comfortable with it, for sure. We're not judging anybody on our channel, but eventually, I don't know, you should just want. I know it sounds crazy, but what if we just woke up one day and everybody moved out the hood? Let's remember, or low income and poverty communities. If they did, uh, and a lot of people just have it because they can't afford to. You know that. Um, but if they did, wow, that just imagine. A lot of businesses, if people could afford to move out of the slums at right now, seriously, I just believe they would. And a lot of businesses and property owners would definitely lose a lot of money. Like people are really only in those communities, you know, for what? So right now we ask this question: is this the future? See, in some states they've already began knocking down. You can leave your opinions in the comments if you have noticed this in your local community, or maybe somewhere you were raised or somewhere you're very familiar with. But a lot of places are already doing away with. Um, I'm not going to say low income housing, but project based type housing. Okay. If you know what I'm talking about, just like I said, all comment or commentary and opinions are welcome in the comment section. We just ask that y'all keep it clean, keep it respectful. Um, a lot of people have though, like just areas. Y'all call it gentrification when they just come in and do things, knock out buildings. You know what I'm saying? That force a lot of people to have to move. Many different things can cause this. Look at what the people in Colorado was going through. They were forced to move over, apartment complexes being taken over by gangs and stuff like this, right? We wouldn't call that gentrification, no, because, that's not something usually that city leaders and stuff approve of. They're not going to sign a bill or papers to tell you to, they might tell you to do that to knock down some projects, but not to get gang activity started to move people. It's just too many people homeless for that. That was my only opinion about that whole thing in the first place. Like, it is way too many people homeless for people to be forced into homeless over preventable reasons. And yes, any type of group of people that are running people out of their properties, that's homelessness that can be prevented. That's my opinion. Arthur Tetasheri, the founder of You Will Make It TV YouTube channel, and your audio host this morning. Don't y'all, I mean, who agrees with it? Nobody should be homeless over preventable reasons. That's just what I agree with. We have to stand for something or fall for anything. So I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back. No one, if you are already experiencing a homelessness crisis in any geographical region, wouldn't it make sense to alleviate those preventable? We talk about preventable risks, preventable crimes, preventable health diseases. Preventable. Preventable means able to prevent. Prevent means pre-stop. Prevent. Vent means to air something out, to expose it, but you can pre-stop something that's supposed to happen. That's what prevent means. And I get it. I get it with every other thing we look at in the world, but with homelessness, I just feel like, yeah, that needs to be discussed when we're talking about a crisis. If we're really talking about real solutions, what are those preventable things that we can start paying more attention to that stop people from falling into the hands of homelessness? Yeah, some of the first answers on people's list would be, well, we got to stop them from doing. I'm gonna tell you how people is. They'll say we got to stop them from doing drugs, and we got to stop them from listening to rap music, and we got to stop them from living any life at all. It's really crazy. No, all you have to do is take out the toothpicks where they don't belong, and those toothpicks are those preventable things that lead to homelessness. Now people want to pay more attention to it because you saw gangs impede some apartment complexes in the middle of Colorado somewhere. And it's happened in other states from what, is being reported in the media or has been in the past. Just reports of maybe immigrants stirring up a little trouble. Now, a little trouble is just what I said, a little trouble, but no. People having to move out of their apartments because you want to come over there and show activity, it's not right. So where did all those people move to? Did they get new housing vouchers? Did we have hotel rooms for them? From the news stories I saw, they just had to move out. The news didn't tell us nothing else. They probably did. I haven't looked back into the story. Maybe because it hurts to. Because where did those people go? All these people had to pack up, move, figure something out. Because, yeah, you're saying illegal immigrant and different people came in their complex where they were paying rent, where they had, it must have had to be something more to that, for real. These people paid their leases, but it taught us all something. If something happens in your complex, why everybody just want to stand up? They did. They're speaking up like, hey, if people gave their opinions about that. But that is just not okay. There's other things, because if the fixtures in your home, like some of the things that seem so little have led to people's homelessness. If you don't believe me, go watch more TikTok stories. Something like you depending on Airbnb sales, right? Renting out properties, and you have one squatter who didn't want to do the right thing. This is what be going on with homelessness that people don't want to talk about. They want to make it about that you have a smoking habit or drinking habit. And once again, if you have a person who has experienced this cycle over and over and over again, and you don't expect them to have a dab, a dip, a dot of depression on them, it's just not realistic. You see, you can tell the levels of emotional intelligence and mentalities and people's perception on things, and that's fine. I just rather know. I would totally rather know. If I can't trust you to understand homelessness, why would I trust your plan about how to keep me out of it or how to get me out of it, right? I mean, 100% trust that. And that's why when we see updated news about these new tiny homes that Tesla released, some of us in the communities of experiences with homelessness and experiences with independent living, yeah, that screams out to you. So I have a question for you, camper life livers out there, van life livers out there, right? Nomad living people. uh, people that have already begun more independent living journeys, do any of y'all plan to invest in tiny homes? Some of y'all probably already have. On part one, I did invite more tiny home dealers to maybe not just reach out to me, but maybe start joining us in our live topics. Definitely tag somebody you might know or a channel, or uh, share our content with tiny home dealers, because it's definitely something we're going to be talking about a lot on You Will Make It TV. As these new innovations are created, which tiny homes are not new, but Tesla's version is new. Okay, that's what we're talking about on here this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Tesla's version is new. So roughly, the starting minimal price for the Tesla tiny homes, for those that probably missed part one, is like 67.85. That's right, four digits. And six if you add the zeros, because it's right on the money like that. Like they start off at $7,000. What's y'all opinions about that? Before Tesla mobile homes, tiny homes, let's not call them mobile homes. There is a difference between the mobile homes. Mobile homes are going to be where you can actually drive it. You can drive the whole home. Okay. Tiny homes are portable. They don't have a engine and motor where you can drive it, but they are portable. You are able to port them, to move them, to transport them to any location you would like to set that up at. I'm a fan. Can y'all tell I'm a big fan? I was just blown away. I was like, what? Tesla got one of those? Tesla got a line of tiny homes now? It brought the podcaster back out of me. And it was just grand because I'm like, not only am I a podcaster, a speaker, uh, I have a whole channel now that's more, we have a base foundation of trying to help people, not just telling them they can make it. Words are nice, and speaking those type of positive words over people are nice, but do we have resources available, or can I start something like that where we're meeting people in the middle when it comes to not just telling you you will make it, but actually having that help readily available to help you make it if that's really what you're trying to do. hmm A person can say that, but you give them 2 or 3 weeks into it, you can see what's really going on. Like, is that person really trying to make it? 2 or 3 weeks was just an example, but yeah, you know what I mean? All you can do, you don't want to wait till you gave that person an opportunity. Even jobs interview you. You know what I'm saying? You got to try to feel that person out just to know if you really can trust helping them or not. When you have a channel called You Will Make It TV, a ministry, an organization, a nonprofit, you we would want anybody to believe that, but to believe that, you have to first be truly trying to do that. Like, you are trying to make it. You needed to be reminded of that. All you need is a little bit of faith, because we'll never promise people here that where we direct you to as a resource is going to guarantee help you. Nobody can even tell me that. A foundation that granted them funding at a fundraiser might not do that for me. Not because I didn't deserve it, not because I didn't qualify, just because. You see what I'm saying? We just talked about that on part one. People thinking they can do the exact same steps you do, or no, they just be think. I guess they really do think that though, but they believe this. Like, they actually put action and work into this. Like, I'm gonna watch this person every step because they believe. Okay, let me watch your steps, and then I'm gonna trip you. This how life be. Because we are talking about tiny homes and the significance of them being more realistically affordable for people who have truly been struggling with cycles of homelessness. Not just periods, but cycles. Because a period, that's more like a short span of time for sure. I don't care what nobody say. But like a cycle, that's like ongoing, dragging along. It's not seeming to work out with anything else you've tried. A mortgage, rent, buying any other type of home, right? We know that these built homes on foundations on land, you can't just pick those up. Some you can if you really wanted to, but it's not something you see people do every day, moving their houses across the country. But these days, you might see that because that's what tiny homes are compatible for. They're built to be able to do that. You can fold it open and build the house, but you can also fold it back down with the right, knowing the right mechanics. And I don't mean physical mechanics, I mean like the sciences, like knowing how to break it down in case you need to move it, get it stored back into a storage bin so that you can transport it to anywhere you need to. It's built to do that. I don't mean everybody gonna be, is this the future? Everybody just gonna get a tiny home. But I feel like just like we have a, like what's something that you have peanut butter and jelly, right? Like I just feel like there's something, uh, 1 second guys. Let me text this person back. I just think this is an interesting topic. Okay. And it's just crazy. For real, for real. Okay. I don't know where I left off at, but that's how I don't like little bitty distractions. Not when I'm freestyling a topic because I'm already just doing it from off my mind. So I might get a little sidetracked if an email or something comes through. But overall, we were saying, I'm not saying the whole future will be tiny houses. Because when I thought about that too, I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. Just people with these, I don't want to call them shacks, but these are not even built on the foundation no more, right? Like, I say another con to tiny houses is definitely when you have weatherization storms, like, it should just always be a backup for people at this point. You never know what kind of weatherization is going to happen because you could have a house for 10 years and then a hurricane comes, right? So now it has nothing to do with your career or anything. You just lost a home and got to start over. I'm saying the different things that lead people to homelessness and why tiny homes are discussed a lot in homeless communities. On homeless boards, what y'all mean? In the background conversations of homelessness is what I'm trying to say. Do you know how many people out there are like literally something is going on, bro? Like people just more homeless than ever. If they not homeless right now, they were recently. And people look at what people are turning into. They still trying to keep a image on social media. They can't say that I was doing that. I just chose to never fully truly expose my life like that while I'm going through certain circumstances. I've never been like that. But really, when I think about it, I have. I just never let life stop me from living. So if I had a social media account, like I said, I've never came out and directly been like, yeah, on this picture right here, this what I was doing, this where I was living, this who I was hanging with, this who I was messing with on the side. Like I've never done that openly on social media. But it does matter. Why is Arthur Tetasheri bringing this up? It's a lot of people show y'all firsthand on social media, like, look, I'm living a van life. Or look, I dumpster dive and I find these great deals. And I swear, they get a return on their content because people like that content. I saw one guy's channel, he feeds homeless kittens. Shout out to that guy. I don't remember the name of the channel. It's probably more people that do that. So that's far and in between. But I even enjoyed watching it. He don't even show himself a lot, right? You can do a lot of creative things in the world. He don't even show himself. Like you just gonna see his hands, kind of him moving around, going in the trunk, getting the cat food, getting some water and a bowl out to feed the cats, and these are not even his animals. He just knows that every day he wake up, it is cats out there hungry. So that's how I feel about the homeless communities of the world as far as humans. Like everybody's different or whatever, but I do feel like if all everybody's purpose and calling was just truly working together like it should, we would see a lot of beautiful things. We might couldn't ever fully alleviate homelessness, but we would definitely see some beautiful things because you have more people operating in their, like I said with that man, it's cats. He wakes up every morning and gets on there and do social media content. He rides around neighborhoods. Maybe you do one neighborhood one week or one day and do another. But what's funny is no matter where he go, there is a stray cat. I don't know if if he randomly choose these places or what. You see what I'm saying? But everywhere he go, there's some cats, and it's usually, I don't know if this is just how the cat family is, but it's never just one stray cat. It's rare. Usually where there's one homeless cat, and this is the same with homelessness with humans. That's why on a real level, I really do believe that I connect with anybody that's in a struggle, that in that type of struggle, or it's one thing to be in that struggle, but to not know even about tiny homes. What I'm talking about this morning, like a lot of people probably still in that same situation. They got a great job at Lowe's, Home Depot somewhere, and they just in a situation. They living in a car, they living in a trailer, or they living. Some videos I saw. What inspired this? A elderly lady was living in her storage unit. So people can't get on here and judge me and be like, "Oh, you telling people business." First of all, like, honey boo boos. There are people have subscribers on their own, and they also have other people that view it. So, what is y'all point? Which y'all be like, "Oh, Sue and Sally said this about this content creator." When I'm gonna repeat this again, when you put your life out there on, even if it's making you money, they choose to show y'all, hey, look at my life as a homeless man, or and I'm sorry to any hater, this gets them views and content views, and they do it, and that's what they choose to do, because maybe they know I'm not gonna always be in this situation, or maybe they feel safer. We were just talking about that on part one. That's actually what we left off talking about, like the safety in homeless communities now is a big deal. Like, are you gonna even make it to forget the plan you had to get out of your situation? Are you going to be safe during the plan? Because I'm sorry, and somebody needs to say it. You are more vulnerable. Y'all know what vulnerable mean. You're more likelihood. You're not equipped with what you would have all the time. You kind of are disabled in a way. And if you notice, they have yet to add homelessness as a disability. Things that make us think, because it's a whole disability. And the ones that the wolves of the world, oh, they definitely think that. And it's like, why us on a higher, and just, I don't know how I'm trying to ask this. If wolves think that, why aren't other people thinking about that? When a wolf or a snake or something very hungry sees a vulnerable prey, we know what they do. And what's funny, they watch them for a second. Like, it don't just pounce on you, it might miss. It's just really watching so it can know when. Because animals are never homeless, but y'all know, like, what did I just give an example of? Some are. That one man with the channel Feed Cats for a living on his social media, he gets millions of followers and views. And people like this. I didn't know it was that many animal lovers of the world. Here I am just trying to do content about inspiration, right? But like, still, this is what gives me hope. Like, this is what makes the world beautiful. Like, you can see these different things and still have love for everybody, period. I was saying at the beginning of this stream, I actually do see more love in the world. And maybe an explanation is to that is, once you feel like the chaos is intensified, that has been magnified, not just in your life, but in the world. Maybe it forces you to see the love that was always there, or the love that's there that you just didn't notice. Or you see what I'm saying? Like you're gonna know love once you know chaos, or discord, or hate. Period. You're gonna know luxury once you've been homeless. Once you've tasted starvation, you're gonna know what it feels like. I mean, what you know what I'm saying? You know what it feels like to be full when you've starved before, something like that. Like not just satisfied but full. You're gonna know that feeling a little better. But like I said, I feel like a lot of people are still trapped in homelessness crisis because they don't know all their options, first of all. Because, see, nobody should weigh or compare their lives to each other. You could look at a person's life like, oh, they're so blessed, they have a house, but they're struggling. They don't know how they're going to pay this and that. They ain't told you that. It is so funny. God got his own special way of keeping people humble. That's what I believe. Because really, you be thinking you are barely making ends meet, and it's 20,000 people want to be in your spot. I'm telling y'all, God is already intensifying. All you got to do is open your eyes. And if you want to see it, you're going to see it. What I'm saying, God ain't God. As long as I know God is not with the truth being hidden, I can be cool with that. I can't speak for nothing or nobody else. God is cool with that. You're gonna see that you could be really not even grateful for what you have. And like I said, it's easier for people to grasp the concept when I give it in that form of example. Like, oh, be grateful for what you have. Everybody gonna agree with that. Everybody knows what that means. Be grateful for what you have. Somebody else might be wishing for it. But no, we're talking about another level. Like be grateful for what you have because even at your minimal, the things that's going on today, at your least bit, at your worst is what I'm, maybe that's a better way to say it. At your worst, that's still a miracle or a blessing to somebody. They want that. They cool with it. They're like, oh, that's your life. Yeah, I'll live that over what I feel like I'm dealing with. I'm actually praying for the people that people can find love again, and I'm talking about within because they don't even notice they're like that. You're comparing home and living situations, basing people's whole character. I know Martin Luther King said, don't base my character off my race, but let's not judge my character at all off of my living situation either. Can I chime in and add that to it? That's what Arthur Tetasheri has to say about it. Don't do that. Because this is why I'm breaking down the topic. We call it discussion digestive topics. Because to digest something, you know your stomach breaks down. The stomach has acid. It has special agents it already works with to break down. That's literally a true statement. When I say agents, literally like natural agents that help to break down what you just ate. Or did you think it just, I don't know what people think, but anatomy will make you think about life too. That's all I'm saying. And you have to break this down. Homelessness for sure. I said on part one, to me, we have to remember homeless people are not, some are criminals, don't get me wrong. Did y'all see what's been happening in California? It's not new. I'm just giving an example. They started looting is one thing. That's when things are shut down and you just out there acting crazy. That's what looting is. No, these people just be walking in the stores, taking stuff and walking out. hmm These the days we living in. So even if you are encouraging people, I just say if you see first of all anybody trying to get themselves together on an employment, career, training, job skills level in any way, shape, or form, these days, yeah, look, and just that quick, the value of those is very high. They might not be actually with a better living arrangement or situation, but they are in a better position. Think about football. It's all about position in that game. It doesn't matter if you're 5 feet away from the touchdown line. If you are not in the right position to catch that ball, this is the type of inspiration we like to give here at You Will Make It TV. And see, Elon Musk is a great guy too. He tries to give, he got his own special quotes and stuff out there too. It's funny. Uh, but see, people uphold that stuff too. Like I say, that's where you go with it. Be inspired, but do not sit there like, okay, let me see how I can break down every piece of this person's life like a puzzle, so I can have what they have. That's what the world is turned into, and it's ridiculous. It's lazy. It's disgusting to watch somebody and be inspired by them. Because we're not gonna let the devil just come in like a dump truck and dump all kind of dirt on top of inspiration. Period. Period. You better ask Michael Jordan. He was inspired by somebody. You better ask Kobe Bryant. He was inspired by somebody. Okay, I already made a grand announcement. When I get that wrong, I'll be saying Albert Einstein. It's Thomas Edison. I know they had a great laugh with that one and probably just wanted to debunk everything I said from that point on. Like, see, she don't know what she be talking about. She said Albert Einstein helped with the light bulb. Okay, I got the name wrong. Y'all, it's like what was funny about it when I go back and watch the short, I might have got the name wrong, but the message is still as powerful. It's so crazy. People be willing to, and you know what the Bible say in the last days, or it said, watch out for false prophets. Like it gave us a whole indication of one. That's what's scary about the Bible too. It said they like proclaim Christ, y'all. Like what it say, they have a form of godliness. Go look this scripture up. This what he said, beware of these, like wolves in sheep clothing, like false prophet. Like people want to label, they want to be the judge so bad and label who all those are, right? Let me help them out. It says they have a form, FORM. Remember they said no weapon form against me shall prosper. Form is to like also make, create, bring forth. They have a form of godliness, but deny. I promise the Bible say this, the power thereof, and I promise it's like I just had a awakening about something that quick again. Just it get deeper and deeper and deeper. A form of godliness, right? They like what's godliness? Well, they know what it is when they say cleanliness is next to it. Okay, so a form of godliness and denying the power thereof. That's how you gonna know who people are in the last day. I don't care how good their mask is. It made me think about Miss Doubtfire for a minute. I don't care where they bought their face mask, what kind of makeup paint it is, what kind of cover up you got. Period. If I look at the wisdom of the Bible and it says something about a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, anybody can Google that. It's gonna tell you what the whole thing say. So why that's it's like the Bible saying why act godly? Because I would say caring about the homeless is a godly attribute, even if you didn't believe in God, right? Because what is godliness? I believe there are actions we can take that are considered actions of righteousness, actions of, even the Bible talks about charity. What we've done is let the devil come in and dump dirt on charity, on inspiration, on like what's good. That's crazy. In the hood, that's a term we use, like what's good. But really, in the spirit world, in the things in the moral world, in the world of ethics, what is going on here? You got it don't take but one person these days. They can say, "Oh yeah, inspiration is this how easily misguided people been lately." Yeah, you can't believe in inspiration. We heard about one preacher that was exposed for a scandal, or we heard about 10 of them. We heard about 20 of them went down. So that one Just don't listen to their inspiration. No, the real question is, why did the devil come to tempt 20 preachers? That, like, it gets deeper with me. Y'all just want to talk about, like, oh, all these, which it makes me angry too if that when that type of news comes out. What y'all mean? Because it be like the type of positions these people be in, period. But still, even if I don't want to admit it, the truth is, just because 50 clergymen in the church were found guilty of this and that, and in the Catholics settings and or wherever it happens, that still does not mean every one of them are doing it. That's what I mean when I say allowing the devil to throw dirt on what's good. That's crazy. I just said we asked that question as a question in certain, what I'm saying, neighborhood, like it's a form of slang or lingual, the young people use, like, what's good. But when we look at life and what's really good, and you go and dump dirt on what's good, like, what are you doing? And once upon a time, housing, like I said on part one, housing didn't even get introduced to society till, like, and don't get me started on how there's not even housing. They don't have no housing in certain countries. What's wrong? Some of y'all gonna go to other countries trying to start a new life and think it like, hey, where can I sign up for housing? You're gonna be looking crazy, bro. They don't have no housing. Like, life gonna get real to you. You gonna understand, like, one thing about going to other countries, third world countries, foreign places, you gonna understand life better by the time you get home. Now, I'm finna get back to the topic with the Tesla houses. I'm saying, if you travel, uh, you need to research where you are. Like, people thought I was on level one about topics like these. I already personally understand. I don't care who talks about my situation, how I get it, how I survive, how I master mine. I know I'm blessed because some of the resources or help or assistance or jobs or schooling I was able to get over here in my country, you cannot get as easily access to in other places. And when you have a masses of people who forget this all at the same time, you have a problem. They just want to talk about who's in elections and who's next and why they should be right. But how are they living? Are you dumping dirt on what's good? Right at home. You know? Are we throwing dirt on the housing market? Are we throwing dirt on the charities that's out here trying to help people? We are. Like I said, that's another example. You could have 50 people, charities get busted for running schemes, but with that mean, bro, there's a million charities in the country. That don't mean all of them doing it. I mean, it would be a sad day for me to find out something like that. A sad one, not a dead one, a sad one. That would just mean it's time for a fresh start, for sure. It still would be time for a fresh start when you have too many. Like I said, only people that agree that you shouldn't throw dirt on good would agree, probably. But this is just my commentary, reaction, and opinions to this topic when we talk about homelessness prevention and homelessness crisis in our country and in a lot of countries right now, seriously. And so you begin to have something that outweighs anything that happens like that and it's negative and it's starting to outweigh the people. Look what happened during the pandemic. It was a virus that time. Anything that's just like I say, it must not be created for people to be all powerful, big, huge group of people to have all the power. Period. There are things that can be like life has shown us, things can happen to where humans find out real quick we're not all powerful. Or they find out real quick, like I said, you go to another country, yeah, you're not as powerful as you was somewhere else. Like, people just have gotten that self-centered, that out of touch with reality. This is not social media. When you travel, when you find the best housing solution for your family, this is not a game. But if you're too busy trying to show your life on social media versus actually giving care and time to your personal life. Wow. For example, I've had a break lately. I can't say that because see, one thing about a homelessness situation, I wasn't one of those bloggers that's showing you what I'm doing. I'm literally busy in real life, working on my situation at this time. But everybody is different. I'm not on social media in if I was, it wasn't in a way to be like, let me showboat my situation. And then as people see, even if I start doing a little better to help myself, I'm still not finna showboat it. And then if I get even better, I'm not finna showboat. If you want to call giving people inspiration and sharing uh, business ideas and stuff like this with your fellow peers, if you want to look at that as negative, you can. Because anything I've ever started or being a part of, I joined it with the intention of, somehow giving back. Seriously. It's crazy how we can get caught up in it. A lot of people that lead them to homelessness too, giving back too much. Like how if because giving back would mean you were given too. Now it's like it'll make you look at your life like, okay, how much have I been given versus how much do I owe? Because if you giving back, if you feel like you done gave back, now you don't. Nobody wants to overwork themselves giving back. I'm just trying to make sure I got this right. I mean, to the point you're just 100% depleted. You are homeless. Which these days that's a different conversation because families haven't even been able to help each other as much anymore. You see how much this has caused? Economical changes is something that affects a masses of people. I don't care how you want to put it. It's even celebrities that came out and told y'all food is more expensive. I told you so you're informed. They tell you in agreement, like, hey, we've been seeing this too. More of them need to cut the budget a little bit, you know? You don't need a chef. Get in there and cook yourself. Make that money stretch. You could be rich today, gone tomorrow. Y'all know how it is. I mean, when I say gone, I don't mean like off the face of the earth, but depleted in that way, especially if you feel like you got to give back. So, anyways, I'm saying that mentality. I'm just getting better with it. I didn't stop nothing, but I'm learning you can give back without depleting yourself. You might give yourself this way, but you also put this time in your house or this time with your kids, or you do it like this. That's what I'm talking about. That way you're evenly distributing yourself in a way where you're not depleted. You're actually not giving back times 10 because you're giving. So you know what happened when you give. Now you're giving back. See the law of attraction. I don't think people sit down and think about their life like this. I'm just trying to help to think about that. You like, why I'm not attracting what I want? I mean, what are you putting out there? They probably shocked. A lot of people don't like that either. They don't like who God selects to send a message. This is not new. It's stories all about it in the Bible. Sometimes it wasn't even what these brothers and sisters said. It was who it was. Ain't that crazy? It's just crazy. They tempted Christ himself, and yes, this kind of ties along with the topic. Elon Musk speaks on the he does his topics about that. I heard about the chosen lost Hebrew people and different opinions and commentary he has about the topic, okay? That topic of history. But they bash Christ a lot just because of who he's. I'm telling y'all, it wasn't what he was saying. They knew a lot of that made sense. It was pure wisdom. pure knowledge from, oh, this guy's from another place for real. See, they would admit it like, oh, we've never heard nothing like this. They would say that all the time. Just read the Bible. So the only other thing you could be was who mouth it was coming out of. It always got something to do with who you are. Okay? What am I talking about here? Homelessness too. Yes, it just might. I wouldn't filter it out as not being a possibility. Because if you knew truly who you are, why are you in that position? What is going on to where you can't help yourself? You can tell us all day long what's blocked. I'm telling y'all, I would even understand. I've been there. But at some point you have to look at, okay, was this just a period? Look at what happened, what led to it, and then it seems like an easy fix, don't it? That's how people try to teach you about it. I said, no, we need a real homeless advocate leader out here to speak on this a little better for the people. I can do that. Uh, being homeless and these people feeling, we left off talking about them feeling protected as well, because that's like, where are these homeless people going? I said we need some type of special database, like a hotline, an app, all this technology we got, we can create something. So some states have incorporated this. Let me give y'all an example. If you come to one of their facilities of resources, specific ones, because it's like certain ones they may help with more when it comes to families, like maybe help you get personal documents, help you with clothing, let you wash your clothes. Like it might not exactly be a shelter. We were talking about that on part one a little bit. Feel free to tune in to previously recorded segments right here on You Will Make It TV. Uh, a lot of these people have, like I say, I feel like they deserve a form of protection. We need a database. Some states have a check-in center, maybe, and this is where you would get access to a card, not a debit card, maybe something like an identity card. It's just simply going to state on this card, I am me, this is my birthday. It might have a special barcode number or something for it. But guess what? That barcode is very important. It logs you into a system that notifies the Homeless Coalition that you are indeed a independent homeless out here. They sound little to people with little minds, but I always thought it was a great idea to incorporate. I might didn't understand it as a younger citizen, person, individual. We all gotta learn, and we learn at our own paces, and we still have our own opinions after we find out the truth about different things. So this is just me though. I'm like, okay, years later, even it's scary either way you look at it, knowing somebody can keep a log of you, whether it's through an Apple tag, Google Maps, or some homelessness system. But when you look at the pro to it, which people don't like to think about the pros until a negative happens, until a con happens, which is really crazy. But a pro is not a pro without the con, and a con is not. But I would rather understand them both. You know what I mean? Um, the pro to it is that if something happened to that homeless person, right? We know they might be riding bikes or riding the train or riding the bus. You're homeless. You have to get around how you can. You might have been able to access a discounted pass to take this form of transportation, so you can go out and meet people and get some interview clothes. Because what's y'all opinions? Leave them in a comment. What do you think the 10 golden steps of defeating homelessness are? You see what I'm saying? But I say that's a good one. Definitely from day one, there should be some even swifter than that. Those identification. That, like I said, that's one state and how they might have did it in that county. But more people should adopt it. More even if that person never checks in a shelter, right? A designated place where they can walk in, whether they have an ID or not, they're able to give you their name, their birthday, maybe an eye color, a lot of stuff. Now, at least you have more to go off of. Because, like I said, these people even have to transport differently when you have less income. Or, I mean, because why else would you be homeless? Is it the income? We know that's one of the top reasons. So they might have to transport around differently, period. So that's one example of a scenario where an accident could happen. And in case of an emergency, a person that's out there walking around homeless, they would have some type of backup. Or when this person needs to be identified at the hospital, yeah, they checked the jail, the person ain't in there. They checked here, they checked there, but the family haven't heard from them. Okay, let's see if they were in this database, right? On this database, maybe we make them leave a phone number, a email, because it's like, ma'am, at least if something happened, you had some backtrack. What day did this person come and report they were homeless? And like I said, if it's an app or something, it could be the same thing. But even when as soon as their homelessness situation change, like, oh, I'm staying with a friend, I'm staying with a family member, I'm staying at a hotel, because we know hotel or staying with people is not homeless. My definition of homeless is your name is not the ownership of any said property. That's homeless. Any said property, like not an apartment, not a house. In an apartment, you darn sure don't own it, okay? But I would still say technically that's homeless. You don't own it. Like something could still potentially happen to where you lose that unit, right? Laws are not set up where, okay, you pay this amount of money and you just have this place for 10 years. No, you got to pay every step of the way, every month, that 10 years when you don't own it, or until you do, when it's a property that you are renting to own. Now, because when things happen, when you get a property, they usually make you put down an emergency contact when you sign any type of lease or mortgage, okay? If you know what I'm talking about, hit the like button or leave your opinions in the comments. But this is in case emergencies happen, but it's less likely, see, whether you're homeless or not, a tragic accident could happen. That's okay. So if you have an emergency contact and you are housed, uh, or you're in an Airbnb or something, at least they can call somebody to try to, like I said, that's just always helpful if you ask me. Um, and make sure it's a trusted person, somebody that would maybe know where you are, would maybe know what happened, or they would at least know some areas to look. And what's crazy, a lot of homeless people out there, when they're applying for stuff and it says emergency contact, they can't even write nobody down. Or I want to encourage people going through that. There is no right or wrong advocate when you need a emergency contact. If it's the local bus driver, that's the man that know you the best, and he barely know much about you. He just sees you every morning because you go every morning for a cup of coffee before you go to work. You'd be surprised, like, hey, Mr. Bus Driver, can I use you as an emergency contact? I mean, I'm out here alone. I'm a homeless man. Maybe if something happens to me, tell him my mom's name is Bethany and this is her. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. You never know. So I think these are great ideas to incorporate, even if you go to jail or prison. This is how serious it is. They have you write down an emergency contact. Something could happen to you. But people feel like at the bottom of the chain when they're homeless, because do we have a system like that for the homeless? Now, yes, when you check in, or if you have the luxury of checking in to some type of on-site shelter facility to help you transition out of homelessness, or to maybe help you with some time out of the cold, the heat, whatever you're going through. A safe place to sleep. We know that these facilities were, for the most part, considered safe, especially if they allow children to be there and families. Uh, to the most part, I believe they still are, but we are moving into a time in the future, like we was talking about on part one, where I do see more security being needed, especially if we're talking about the future of tiny house communities, like just a bunch of them on one lot. We talk about on part one how a lot of projects, project based, not income based, okay, project based properties have been torn down in a lot of places as people. I wouldn't speak on it, but I do know some places personally, they have torn those down. They don't even want those type of projects. Do y'all know what that is? Have y'all heard of Project Pat? Or like, I'm just trying to give people an example, like, or you could take the word in another way. You know what I mean? Like a person that's a master at projects, but when we talk about housing subsidies, uh, the projects we know just about most about everybody knows what kind of housing property that is. They have torn those down in a lot of places. But I'm just talking about this topic realistically. What is the likelihood that in the future that we could see tiny home community? We already know they're selling them, they're on the market, people have been buying them anywhere from the past 5 to 10 years now. They are very spanking new. And shout out to Tesla for getting in on a part of that business as well. I just want to know, I want Tesla to know, you got people out here that thinks that's absolutely phenomenal. On part three, I might show more images of what the insiders of these things look like. I don't know why I haven't did that, but I'm sure y'all will enjoy that. Remember to like, share, and subscribe any of our content, especially our inspirational quotes, short section, or our live section like these live streams. Uh, I just say that that's a main thing to me. Like, even if people get these tiny homes, actually, because we know more people are investing in them and getting them and planning to move them to lots of land and maybe start tiny home communities, uh, they probably still need a way. Because what are they going to be considered? Like, are you not considered homeless anymore? Homeless status once you purchase a tiny home, or when you call your local county agency and say, "Hey, I need help with rental assistance," like, would tiny homes qualify? I would goofily assume no, because that's a different type of housing property. But this is the future, ladies and gentlemen. The people are really investing in these, and they're living out of them. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll show some clips later and react for sure. But people are definitely living real lives out of these, and they set them up, in their place of choice. Y'all know you can't just, most times you have to pay. So it's like people are talking about how they get out of rent with buying these, but you still end up paying some money, because now you have to pay for a spot on a lot of land somewhere. You still paying some type of rent, even with mobile homes. Now y'all know a lot of those mobile homers, they get away with more than other people because they can just drive it. They can drive it to the beach if they want to and sleep in it. But these, I'm telling you, you gotta actually move them. That's a lot of gas. You gotta move something on an 18 wheeler right there. That's a lot of gas, bro. To just be, it's good to know it's compatible and you can move it to wherever you want to stay. But I would say there's still a lot of gas mileage to be playing with. Like, you don't want to just move that anywhere. But with these, you got to think about the weather all the time beforehand. That's what I'm like. Is it really? Thank you guys for coming in. Stay tuned for our next segment, part three.